Hey everybody, it's Molly Stone Bibb, Executive Leader with Avon, National Recruiter. Wanted to come out and do a short YouTube video today, or we hope it's going to be short, talking about how not to get caught up with what you see other people doing in their business or in other people's success. Look, it's great to celebrate somebody else's success and to acknowledge the success. But everybody's journey is different in this business and in life. It's not just business. So don't get too caught up with maybe this person is moving ahead of you faster than you're moving, or maybe their resources are greater than the resources you have. Look, this isn't about who's getting where the fastest. The deal is knowing that you are doing what you know you need to do to make each step of the journey count towards the next goal that you want to get to. Look, everybody has a big, hairy goal. For me, I would love to see myself as platinum executive with Avon, which is huge. It's even bigger than Lisa Wilbur money right now, and that's a lot of money. But for me, being an executive leader, my next big goal is silver executive, more or less getting my S on again, as they say. And the difference I'm finding this time is that this time I have more leaders working. I have more leaders who are engaged. And the way that that started happening was really simple. I know you think I'm going to give you something really, really complicated, and it's not complicated. See, in the early parts of my business, gosh, I've got to say, even up until a couple of years ago, I felt like so much of what I was doing was what kept my leaders going. If my leaders were at a place where they were going to lose their title or they weren't working as hard, I was always there to be their safety net and to save them. It took me a really long time to realize that wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing is to find leaders who have a need, to find people who want something more than they have now. Not to say, well, I have 30 people in my first gen, so you know what, I should be able to find 4 or 5 people there who want more. That would be a really great analogy if that worked, but that does not always work. Matter of fact, almost never with that number does it work. You will find normally one leader in every 25 people that you bring on your team in your first gem who truly, truly, truly want something bigger than where they are now. Um, think about where you're at now and where you want to go. Well, for me, when I started this business, I was a broke, hot mess who felt like I had lost everything that I could lose financially. Um, I was down in the shallows of feeling like I didn't believe in myself, far less anybody else believing in me. So I had to venture out and just keep finding people. See, I was stuck in that analogy where this person's been with me this long. Maybe they're ready for leadership. Maybe they're ready to build a team. Maybe they're ready, and you got to have leaders on your team to keep building your team. The truth of the matter is, something could happen, and that person you're thinking of may eventually be ready, but don't push them or pull them too hard. Don't get caught up with, I want this now because I'm watching this person do this or that person do that, and that's where I want to be. No, you have to keep bringing people in to your business. You have to. Um, because when I started doing that, and Lee and I made the decision to start growing our first gen and finding out that people out there do want something more, but you have to get the right people on your team. And no, we don't always know who those people are in the beginning. I've had people come on, be on my team for 6 months, 6 years, and then something happens and they're ready. But when they're ready, they are ready to not just invest their, yeah, I'm ready, Molly, and just say it, because we all know how that goes. A lot of people say it, but then they sit around and they wait for you to do it for them. I look for people who not only say it, but they're thinking, they're trying to come up with their own goals, they're trying to think of ways of how that they can grow their business. And They are getting out there and they are doing it. They have their strategies and they're looking for me to validate what they're doing, to say, hey, yeah, this is a great direction. And I love it so much when they're thinking on their own. I'm like, yeah, go do it because that's great. You are going to do better by keep growing that first gen. Keep growing those members on your team because that is how your leaders are going to produce themselves. Sometimes we get so caught up with where we want to go and the fact that maybe because this person started Avon later than you did and they're going somewhere higher or they can invest more money or they have more time to give it right now, whatever the deal may be, quit comparing yourself to everyone else. Your journey is your journey. Look, I share my journey, just about every step of it, whether you want to hear it or not, with you guys. I do that for a reason. I share the life experiences, the business experiences, and everything in between because I want you to know sometimes it's just not as easy as a lot of people make it look. This is not some magical wand where you find the right potion and poof, it just works for you. My gosh, if that's so, I should have lots of magic potions by this time. You know what I'm saying? But what I've done is I just kept working it. And with advanced leadership, it has finally made it so much easier for me to be able to bring more people on my team, expose them to the money that they could make, and watch and see who's going to pick up the reins of what I've exposed them to and go for it and set their own goals and not wait for me to set them. Look, I have people who come back to me continuously who've been on my team a long time. Okay, Molly, I'm ready. Let's go. And I'm like, my God, they've told me 4 other times they're ready. But yet all I do is I see them on a treadmill where they're really going nowhere. They're saying the right things. They know how to do it, but they're not consistently going out there and doing it. You have got to look for those people. And if you're like, but Molly, I don't have anybody on my team yet who's doing that, then I tell you, keep bringing people on your team. They will show up. It took quite a few years for me for people to show up. And by the way, sometimes people would show up and I would think they were the ones and they do really great for a while and then they'd fall off. That is normal in this business or any business. You know, the newness wears off. Maybe they're not making as much bonus money as they want to. Maybe they're not willing to invest money into their business. And in hindsight, what I've learned is you can get in this business and make some money in sales. You can make the right now money, as I call it, or you can get into this business and as you're making the right now money and you're building those sales and you're showing people what they can do, you're building your residual income and eventually your residual income will be more than your sales. How do you know that, Molly? It's what happened with me. That's how I know that. Because at first it was all about sales with me. And that is where my big money was. And then I would take the money that I was making from my leadership checks and I would reinvest that back into my business, whether it was for more brochures, whether it was for advertising. At this time it could be, you know, purchasing, buying Alma leads, Premier leads through the company. Um, your business grows so that you can do more eventually. But, you know, some people can afford more. Some people can put more time in the right now than you can righteously with no excuses. Sometimes it happens. I remember when I had a full-time job and my kids were young and I was taking care of them and I had the second job and I was trying to start my own Avon business. I did not have the time that other people that when I would go to the district meetings or I would see the recognition boards or whatever, I wasn't on those boards. Look, I could see myself moving up. I knew that I was doing better, but I was not where they were at. Well, they didn't have the 2 jobs and some of them didn't have kids and some of them had a lot more money than I did to invest. You have got to be okay with your journey. If you are not okay with your journey, you will stumble, you will fall down, you will get an attitude, you will sit on the couch and you will pout, you will say, I don't understand. This is not fair. I'm sorry if you're hearing our jets that are flying over. No, they're not coming to pick me up. They just do this during the day. So if you're hearing that, my apologies. Don't get caught up with everybody else's journey. I don't want you comparing your journey to my journey. I mean, you might be able to identify with a lot of things about me. I identify with so many of you when you share what you've gone through in your life and where you were with your business and how your self-esteem has been bought up through this Avon thing. And that is terrific because we're all building each other up. But don't get stuck on zooming in on the fact that, oh my gosh, this person always seems to have this going on and this person never has any problems with this. Number one, you don't know what those people have. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know what kind of issues are going on. But what you do know is what's going on in your life. What you do know is what your own goals are. What you do know is if you are putting enough time, effort, money, whatever it may be, are you doing what you know you can do? Sometimes what happens is we get so caught up with just what we see and what we want that we don't recognize what we've already done. Um, I have to go back continually and revisit my journey continually. And a lot of times it's just sharing it with you guys. Something will come to mind or maybe something else is going on and I share it and a lot of times I'm like, oh, some things are so hard to share. I still fight with the embarrassment of um, where I was at points in my life. And, people look at me now and they say, what do you mean you didn't have self esteem? Dude, let me tell you, I still struggle with that. It doesn't matter if you see me on the Avon stages, it doesn't matter that you're watching this YouTube video. It doesn't matter when you see me that we're Avon family and we're hugging and we're celebrating. It only takes one person to drill at that self-esteem, to drill at the fact that, they're trying to tell you that you're nobody special or they don't like what you're doing or they put you down. You think, oh, it shouldn't bother you, Molly, because so many people love you and love what you're doing. And well, believe me, it only takes one to make you doubt what you're doing. So I'm telling you, as well as talking to myself, that you have to stay on your journey. Quit trying to get over into somebody else's lane and trying to keep up with them. Your journey is here. You see the goal in front of you. I want you to stay fast on what you're doing. You know when you're doing what you can do, what your goal and your plan is. And if you don't have one, that's your first mistake. You got to have a plan, you got to have a goal, you got to know where you want to go next. And I'm not just talking about your big, hairy goal, I'm talking about the next step you want to make. Like maybe you want to give yourself a 3-month plan, and then where do you want to be at the end of 3 months? And then where do you want to be in 6 months? And where do you want to be at the end of campaign 26? Those goals are what hold you accountable, and you must revisit them every single day. If you're like, I can't seem to get over the $300 mark for my sales, well, what are you doing to get over the 300 sales mark? You must hold yourself accountable. And look, I've had to do that even in sales. I've lost customers, people have moved away, people have died. Maybe I wasn't always the best representative with getting them the brochures, whatever it may be. Maybe I didn't check in enough. You have to revisit and say, what do I need to do? I follow a lot of really great people in this business. And one of them is Lisa freaking Wilbur. You all know that. She's a very, very dear friend now. And never in my life did I think I would call Lisa Wilbur a very, very dear friend. And, Lee and her are best buds, and they talk every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, and I kinda horn in on the conversation in between me working. And, you know, I'll hear her talking to Lee about something, and he will say something about, oh, to have Lisa Wilbur problems. And, Lisa even comes back and goes, yeah, you're right, because she remembers at a time where what her problems are now, we go, "Pff, I wish I had those problems. I wish I had $13,000 in a leadership check every 2 weeks. Well, with that $13,000 every 2 weeks, what I know is it comes a lot more responsibility, a lot more training, a lot more time, and the celebration of being able to help people and being able to make great money doing it, and developing this close Avon family thing that we got going on. It's great. And I look at her and go, oh, I can't imagine just $13,000 every 2 weeks. I can't. I mean, I got to tell you, it's so far above here. I can't imagine it. I still like, wow, I can't believe this. The truth of the matter is, it's going to happen for me one day too. And when you look at my checks and you say, oh my gosh, Molly making $2,600, $2,800 every 2 weeks. I can still remember, what, 9 years ago, having a check that was $300 and being so excited about that check. I could never imagine being given a check every 2 weeks for people on my team during doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Doing the work, and they're paying me. That is what residual income is. And there are many times I got caught up in looking at other people and looking at where they were at, and, you know, flipping out about it, and pouting about it. And all that did was waste my time. All that did was take time away from what I should have been doing. And when I learned that that was not the way to go was to look at people, think, wow, one day I want to get there. But I knew I had to build my business my way. I had to do it with the resources that I had. I had to be okay with the fact that I may not build as quickly as somebody else because of my resources, but as long as I am building, as long as I am making a difference, as long as I know I'm giving my business what it needs, you've got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with that. Don't let that green eyed monster get you, or I'm not good enough, or I'm obviously not doing it as well as this person. No, sometimes it just takes people a longer amount of time to find the right people and get them started doing the right actions. It's taken me a lot of years, and it's starting to kick in now where I don't feel like I am working so hard that I can't take a breath. I mean, look, I've got days like yesterday where I was out all day delivering orders and all day delivering brochures to people who didn't order. And Lee and I were in that car all day long, and we still had to find time to, exercise and get out there and walk. And, I started saying, there was a time, Molly, when you were sitting in an office just feeling like you were rooting in the chair. This is not a bad gig. This is a good gig. I got to go out there and thank people for supporting me. I got to thank my customers for buying from me, from being my Avon customers, because without the sales I did, I wouldn't have just gone to Vegas. There are so many trips, so many things that I would not have been a part of without my customers, and to bring them in, not just because they love the products, but because they feel like in supporting me that they have helped me get somewhere. It was so nice to share that, and them to say, we are so happy for you, and have a customer who doesn't really know you that well say, I am so proud of you, Molly. I don't have a mama here to tell me that anymore. So to hear that from other people who I believe genuinely mean that, because they've watched me grow in this business. Some of them have been with me as long as I have been in the business. So these relationships you're establishing can really help keep you grounded, you know? So embrace those relationships and don't get caught up with our cat. You know, that catty stuff is nasty. So don't get caught up in that. You have the power to do this. You have the power to make this business in time anything you want. And in that time, you're going to think you have found the right people, and those people are going to walk away. And you're going to start working with more people, and some of them are going to walk away. And then you're going to find one stays, and then you're going to have three more walk away. You've got to be ready for the endurance of what can happen. You have to be ready not to take it personally. You have to be ready to quit comparing yourself to everybody out there in your district, in your division that you know, that you're watching on YouTube. Stop it. It will hinder you. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It's gonna stop your progress. So here's to staying the course on your journey. Own your journey. Make the plans and the goals for your journey. And it's okay to admire what other people are doing in this journey, but do not get lost in that. Stay connected with your journey, stay connected with your path, and know that you're moving forward. Oh, you may stumble, you may fall down, and something may happen, and you might even have to take a step back every now and then. I am the person of having to step back, most of the time not because of me, because of other people, but it happens. The great thing is you don't have to lose anything. You just get back up on the path and you go again. Okay? So that's what I encourage you today in this YouTube to do. Stay the course. And for those of you who watch me just to watch me, this isn't just about Avon. This is about life. This is about knowing what you want and what you don't want in your life. Maybe there's a job that you're working and you're into the corporate world, but you know where you want to go. Stay the course. You know what you need to do. And if you're willing to do those things in the corporate world or out there, then do it. If there's a dream that you have, do you want to be a musician? What is it that you want to do with your life? There are so many people who have other dreams. They don't think they can do the schooling to be a doctor or be a nurse. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Your dreams are just that. But how about turning those dreams into visions? Because my definition of a vision is a dream with legs. Because a dream is a dream, something you think of, something you'd like to do. A vision means you are walking towards it. You have put legs on that dream and you are moving towards it. You've got what it takes, this gift that you've been given that you can bring and bless people with anywhere in your life, business, personal life, no matter what it is, church, maybe it's volunteering. You have what it takes to do it. Do you want to go after it and do the work that it takes? Because there's going to be failures. There's going to be stumbling blocks, and there are going to be people all along the way telling you that you can't do it. You come back to this video because this girl right here, Molly Stone Bibb, is telling you you can do it. So you stay the course, and you know what? I want to hear about your successes. So make sure that you communicate with me. Let me know if this is helping you out, and I'm going to keep sharing just as long as you're looking for it. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.